Bismillah Rahman Rahim. Hello to all financial management students. Welcome back once again to my session Zero to FM Hero. Zero to FM Hero. Financial management students, I must say here, you are superb. You have done a brilliant job. You covered my lectures, you covered the book, my notes. You have done a lot of practice for all the sections ABC. Now, believe me, you have a lot of potential to get success of your upcoming exam. But the point is that don't take stress. Believe in yourself. If not now, then when? So unleash your potential now. Discover your FM potential and conquer your section A and B type question as well. I will provide you the guidance with this particular session how to handle section A and B type question. But once again, don't take stress. Do your best. Okay, let's start the session. Number one, all of you knows that exam structure of section A and section B. In section A, examiner examines 15 questions, 2 marks each. Section B, 3 OTQs cases, 10 marks each. Examiner examine section A and B having a leverage to examine anywhere from the syllabus, anywhere. So very diversified approach. But you people have done a lot. You people have practiced a lot, covered a lot syllabus. So you have already prepared a diversified practice. So don't confuse here. Don't take a stress. Further, the exam scope calculation plus theory. 50-50. 50% calculation, 50% theory. Here the discussion is all about Zero to FM Hero. Further, our scope of discussion based on practice questions plus exam techniques. I will give you the guidance related to technique how to handle A and B section type question, and examiner report diagnosis where we will identify do's and don'ts. The source of the question is from FM March June 24 section A and B type questions. I've extracted from examiner report. I've extracted these questions from examiner report. 4 section A type questions and 1 OTQ section B type question. 1 OTQ case of section B type question. Before starting the practice, I wanted to emphasize some exam techniques to cover section A, B type question. First point, number 1, time management. You must have to aware that for section A, examiner examine each question 2 marks. So that means you have 3.6 minutes for each question. So stick with the time management. Number 2, for section B, 5 OTQ based 5 questions. So we have 18 minutes for each case. So first of all, focus that point that you have this time, for example, section A 3.6 minutes or section B 18 minutes. And don't forget, for each question you have to apply 20%, 20-80 rule. 20% time for planning, 80% for execution. You have to plan before attack. How to plan question? The most important thing is the second point. 20% time you need to invest to read each objective test question very carefully. And whenever you are reading, you have to follow these 3 steps. Number 1, read the question and first need to identify the concept. What concept examiner examine here? Number two, the keywords. What keywords examiner mentioned about that concept? Number three, what phrase being tested here? What phrase being tested here? For example, there's a if examiner asks the question about the future contracts, and that's something about the theoretical aspects. So first identify the concept. That means the question is about financial derivative and future contract. That concept, that's a concept test here. What the keywords? For example, examiner examine the future contracts is a marketable contracts having the following characteristics. So keywords is future contracts. Future contracts is a marketable contracts with the following characteristics. So the following characteristics is a keyword of the concept that's future contract being tested here. Number three, phrase being tested. For example, with that, for example, examiner mentioned 5 characteristics, and then examiner mention here which 2 of the following is correct. Which 2 of the following is correct? So I repeat, financial derivatives, future contract, that is concept. Marketable contracts, characteristics, that's a keywords. And third one is out of 5, which 2 is correct? That's phrase being tested. Examiner maybe tested that which 2 of the below is incorrect. So you have to read the question very carefully to understand the concept asking, the question asking here. Concepts, keywords, and the phrase. This is very much important. So before the exam, do practice by reading that questions. Number 1. Number 3 is the support I will provide to you. That's very important. If any of the question you for example, any of the question whenever you face any of the question where you are confused, you have multiple doubts, you are unsure about the question and the concept. So definitely students normally do the guesswork. But here you will apply intelligent guess. Intelligent guess. Intelligent guess. What does that mean, intelligent guess? For example, examiner asks for any of the concept, for same case for future contracts, out of 5, identify any 2 correct. So first of all, and you are confused here, which 2 is correct here. Number 1, first of all, rule out obvious wrong answer. Obvious wrong answer. Out of 5, you have identified, okay, 1 of the statements, it's obvious wrong. So eliminate that. So eliminate options that are correctly incorrect. So once you do that, your chances about the correct answer is brighter. Because out of 5, you need to choose 2. Now you need to choose 2 out of 4 because you have eliminated 1. So that means brighter chance that your answer become correct. So first, very carefully, whatever the obvious wrong or obvious irrelevant answer, delete it. Number 2, A then C, not B. Make an educated guess. Make an educated guess. What educated guess? Relax. Not a random guess. That means in Urdu we are saying that just a tuka. No, this is the random guess without the wild thought. No, educated guess, not the random guess. Educated guess means you just relax and first of all observe about the topic. The topic is about financial derivatives and futures. And read the context of the question. So if you really wanted to work out for educated guess rather than random guess, educated guess rather than tukka. So try to understand the topic and the context of the question. That will, with these two rules, there will be brighter chance that you will be able to identify correct answer. And two more thing I wanted to add here. Avoid overthinking, because sometimes student spend too much time and overthink about any of the question. That's the pressure buildup, and with the pressure normally the things is going to wrong. So avoid unnecessary thinking, avoid overthinking. And last point, trust your gut feeling. Never underestimate your instinct. So that's called intelligent guess. But to remember, intelligent guess is a strategy, not a guarantee. It is not a substitute for thorough preparation and understanding of the syllabus. You have to put your best for the thorough preparation and understanding of the syllabus. But sometimes if you stuck somewhere or confused, then apply this intelligent guess. That's important. By the way, this is whatever I'm suggesting you. That's all I've extracted from the examiner report. That's not my my art is only the extract of the information. This is examiner report data. So that's the point. Further, number 4 about the section A, B, that question. Avoid leaving any question unanswered, because there is no penalty for incorrect responses. Incomplete, that's impossible. You have to attempt all questions of section A and B. In fact, 100% of section C as well. But avoid leaving any questions unanswered. Number 5, review your questions. If time permits, review your answers before submitting your exam. Subject to this, that's you manage the time carefully. Strongly suggest review your answers. And for calculation purpose, double check your calculations. Double check your calculation. Ensure you have selected the correct options. No casting errors, nothing else. That's a point. Finally, practice makes perfect. The more you practice with the past paper and mock exams, the more you practice past paper mock exams, the better you become at identifying patterns, recognizing distractors, and making educated guesses. So practice makes a man perfect here means if you attempt more and more questions, you will be able to identify the psychology of the examiner. Psychology means identify the patterns, recognizing the distractors, which two of the following is incorrect. Match the answers, distractors, and able to make educated guess. Now, whatever I have shared the things here. So let's start the thing. That's section A type questions. Let's start. This is one of the question, that's section A type questions. That's I've extracted from March June 24 examiner report. Let's start. First of all, read the question carefully. Read the question carefully. Which of the following is an implication of the semi-strong form efficient market hypothesis? and there are four options. Security price movement should be predictable. Security price should fully and fairly reflect all information. Here the security price means shares. All available information, whether public or private. Security price should move when takeover is announced. There would be no need to ban insider dealings. There are four options. Relax. First of all, you have 3.6 minutes time, or for execution you just required 5 or 6 seconds. So major time you need to invest for planning. What are the steps you need to follow? Number one, you need to identify which concept. The concept is about market efficiency. What are the keywords? The concept is about market efficiency. What are the keywords? The keywords about implications of semi-strong form efficiency. Implications of semi-strong form efficiency. Semi-strong form, recall your studies. Recall your studies, number one. First, you need to recall studies. What is the meaning of efficient market? Efficient market means price affected to the stock market in a rational manner. Once inject the price affected to the market and rationally affected to the stock price. Now, one of the concept of weak, one of the concept of semi-strong, and one of the concept of strong form. Semi-strong form, that is about the price here penetrated with the public information in the past, but not with the insider. Not with the insider. But do remember, for efficient market, the concept of efficient market is not about that the share price should be predictable. Share price is always move in a random manner. It's any of the market. So, number one, which of the following is an implication of semi-strong? So that means which of the following, any one you need to choose here. So you have read it, that's market efficiency. Number two, that's about semi-strong form efficiency. Phrase here, which of the following, that's you need to identify any one by one. So first thing is that how your brain should work. That's what does this test, the understanding the distinction between weak, semi-strong and strong, and then you need to identify related to semi-strong. First, security price movement should be predictable. Should be predictable. Not any of the case the prices are predictable. Price never predictable. Any of the market exists. Number two, security price fully and fairly reflect all information, whether public or private. This is not the case for semi-strong. This is called for strong form. Share prices should move once takeover is announced. Takeover is an incident. Takeover is one of the kind. So if takeover is announced, not actually happen. If share price moves, that means this is semi-strong form market. Whatever the information available to the public, price move according. So C is correct. C is an implication of the semi-strong form. There would be no need to ban insider dealing. In any of the case, always required need for insider dealing. Ban to need insider dealing, especially for weak form and especially for weak and semi-strong form. Because strong form, there will be no effect, no? Either insider ban or not, because all the insider, assumption that all insider automatically affected to the market. So with semi-strong form, no need to ban insider dealings, that's wrong. So the right answer is C. The right answer is C. If you practice the questions, always Invest time in this manner. Read the question. Number one, which concept? Number two, keywords. Number three, phrase. That's what are being tested here. Okay. Further, don't hurry to refer the solution. You have to intelligently attempt the question and then refer the question solution. And whenever you are referring the solution, you have to read the solution why we have not opted the other answer and why we opted the answer that is C. So we have identified the answer is C, but why not the other? So you have to read it. By the way, I have discussed this point, but you need to read it. Once again, in an efficient market, share price move unpredictable, where the market is any form, weak, semi-strong, and strong. In semi-strong efficient market, share price reflect all information. Therefore, takeover announcement, that's acquisition announcement, would cause a price change because private information become public. Insider dealing, profiting from private information, violates the principle of semi-strong efficient market, thus necessitating ban to maintain investor confidence. Very simple. Now the next question. The first question we have done, that's theoretical. Next question, that is something about calculation. Okay. The following information related to blank inventory. That is first line, you have read it and that's very simple. That's about the working capital. Working capital. Concept, working capital. Details, annual demand, order quantity, reorder level, lead time 3 weeks, 50 weeks in the year. What is the buffer safety level? Keywords, buffer safety. Phrase, very simple, not for calculation, identify any one answer. The phrase, it's very simple here. For calculation aspects, it's very simple. For the phrase being tested, that's tricky for majority time for the theoretical. For calculation, it may also possible, but most of the time for theoretical aspects. So first, concept, working capital. Number two, working capital inventory. Number two, for inventory here, testing buffer and safety inventory level. So number one, how your brain should work, the understand of the relevant technique of the management in managing inventory. Very simple. That's buffer inventory. First of all, you have to identify, recall the formula of the buffer inventory or the minimum stock. That's simple. Reorder level, that's given, minus average demand and average lead time. So simple, calculate average demand, that's 400,000 divided by 50,000, that's average demand per week. Multiply by 3, that's demand per lead time. So 30,000 minus this calculation, you will be able to identify the buffer inventory level. Now come on, let's observe. Very simple. First recall the formula, the concept. Demand per week, that's 8,000. Average demand 8,000 to 3, that's very simple, 24,000. Minimum inventory, that's reorder level, minus 24,000, that's 6,000. The answer is 6,000. Now considering the examiner report, when I diagnose the examiner report, here examiner mentioned for this OTQ that the past students, this examiner observed that the common errors that you need to focus about, that average demand during lead time figure. That's an examiner complaint. Average demand during lead time period. So the calculation for average demand lead time, that's for example, divide by 58,000 per units, you need to be careful. Multiply by 3 weeks, you need to be careful, because this formula is not available with the exam question. You have to learn this formula. Number two, reorder level less reorder quantity less reorder level as the buffer level of inventory. That means reorder level quantity less reorder level. No, this is wrong. The solution is reorder level minus reorder. This is the wrong formula student used. Reorder level minus reorder quantity. That's some students reorder 30,000 minus 70,000. That's totally wrong. So this is the examiner comment that some students have done this. So this is wrong. Now come on. Next one. Read this question one time very carefully. Elforder company is an unlisted company with $200 million one ordinary shares in issue. Okay. It is earning attributable to ordinary shareholders $90 million. Earning attributable to ordinary shareholders. That's profit after tax, which is of which 30 million distributed to shareholder. That's dividend as ordinary dividend. Otis company is a listed company. 550 million ordinary shares issued. Its earning per share 0.25. Market capitalization is 2750. What is the ordinary shares value of Elforder company using Otis company P ratio? So, how your brain should work? Number one, the concept is here about business valuation. The key words here, value of share, or the phrase here for to ask about value of share by PE ratio. PE ratio. So it's very simple. First of all, you need to recall how to calculate the value per share. Value per share is equal to EPS of Elford company multiply by PE ratio of Otis company. So what you required? Number one, you required EPS of Elford. It's very simple. That's 90 divided by 200 million. 90, it's a profit after tax, divided by 200. So 90 divided by 200, that's 0.45. Just calculated. Second, use the PE ratio. PE ratio of Elforder. It's very simple. That's market capitalization is here. Market cap divided by that's market value of share divided by EPS. Market cap divided by 550 million shares multiplied by 0.25. Divided by 550 multiplied by 0.25. Or you can calculate market value per share, by the way. 2750 divided by 550 million, that's per share value, and calculate the price divided by earning per share. So that is about 20 times. Okay, you can calculate alternatively. I just use 2750 divided by, that's total value numerator divided by total value denominator. You calculate the per share price 2750 divided by 550 million. So per share value divided by 0.25. So answer will remain same, that's 20 times. So 20 times multiplied by 0.45, that is $9. So answer is $9. Very simple. Here the answer. Examiner comments, commonly seen errors. Use retained earning to calculate earning per share. That's wrong. No. Earning per share always calculate profit after tax. Whatever the profit earned by the company, or I can say before distributing the dividend. It's not about the retained earning. Okay. So calculate EPS. That's one mistake. And calculating Otis share price instead of Alfredo share price. Very categorically here mentioned that ordinary share. What is the value of ordinary share in Alfredo company using Otis PE share? Otis PE share. Okay. Sorry, my mistake. I'm sorry. One moment. Here I mentioned PE ratio, not Alfredo. This is Otis company. I'm sorry. PE ratio. Here. That is 2750 divided by total. This is the debt of Otis. I'm sorry. Here we need to calculate the value per share of Alfredo. That's a point. Apologies. Okay, it's clear. Now point number 4. Now point number 4. You need to read this question very carefully. Read it. A company is planning a major investment in new manufacturing unit in the next year. Okay, listen carefully. Very good question. Due to recent concerns that economy may be growing too slowly, the government has unexpectedly announced decrease in interest rates. Decrease in interest rates. Once again, companies planning a major investment in new manufacturing in the next year. So major investment. So one side is investment, another side finance for investment. One side at investment, another side of finance for investment. Due to recent concern, the economy may be growing slowly, and government has unexpectedly announced decrease in interest rate. So business, actually, with any country, a business runs and affected by the in any country, business runs and affected by the environment, the economic environment. The economic environment affect to the business, definitely affect to the business investment decisions and the financing decisions. So this is actually the topic about financial management function. This is what about the financial management function. This is what about financial management function and environment. Financial management function and environment. So here the topic about financial management function and environment. And the key point is about movement of interest rate, affect to the business, movement of interest rate. So concept about financial management function and environment. Number two, concept about interest rates. Now the phrase being tested here. Which of the following statements concerning the impact of government's decision is true? Which of the following statements concerning the impact of government decision is true? Very carefully. So your brain should work in this manner. Financial management function and environment, number one. Number two, second point, here the case about interest rate. And you need, third one, you need to identify which statement is true. Now come on. The company's cost of capital will increase. The company's shareholder will require higher return. The demand for the company's product will increase. The NPV of the investment will be lower than initially expected. One by one, whatever you feel that something is absolutely wrong, you need to filter out, eliminate it. Here the question about decrease in interest rate and effect to the economy. If government has announced decrease in investment rate, decrease in interest rate, obviously the investor required return will also expecting to decrease, not increase. So it's obvious that cost of capital will not increase. Cost of capital means investor required return in the market. It's not increase, it's decrease. Number one. B, the shareholders will require higher return. How it's possible to any investor, debt or equity holder, expect higher return if government announced a decrease in interest rate? So A and B, it's obviously wrong now. Now C and D. C and D. Demand for the company products will increase. Use common sense. If interest rate decrease, the purchasing power of the community, of the citizens increases. So the demand of the product will increase. Yes. And that is the justification for the investment in new plant. Now number D, what to do? The NPV of the investment will be lower than initially expected. NPV. NPV is the present value. Present value and the discount rate. Present value and the discount rate having inverse relation. If interest rate decrease, present value increase, and vice versa. That's some simple maths. So here, if interest rate decreases, NPV of the investment will lower? No. If interest rate decreases, NPV of the project increases. It's not lower than expected, it's higher than expected. So the right answer is C. So how your brain works? Number one, the understanding of how government economic policy interact with the planning and decision making in the business. That is about financial management function and environment topic. That's concept. Keywords, interest decrease. What the concept, phrase being tested, which statement is true? Okay, here is the justification that's mentioned by examiner. Interest rate decrease will result in lower shareholder return. Reduction in cost of capital will in turn increase investment NPV. A reduction in interest rates is normally associated with increase in spending, and assuming all variables constant, increase the demand of the company's product. All variable constant means assuming no political instability. For example, no political instability. So this is what about section A type questions, where I have guided you what is the right way to attempt the question. I have tried my best to discuss all these exam techniques here. Even with last question, intelligent guessing. Now, the next phase is about section B type question. Section B type question. Come on. Section B type question. I suggest for section B type question, I will make another video because the video is now become extensive. Otherwise, the video will become very much extensive. So thank you very much for this session, and follow my YouTube channel to get access for the section B type question. Thank you. Assalamu alaikum.